Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Simply Stitched Crochet. My name is Christina. Today I am getting right into it. I am so excited because I am wearing my cardigan that I talked about last week in my video. That is finished. I am wearing it. I'm just so excited. So before I show it to you all, I'll go a little bit over all the information about the cardigan. So I did follow a pattern. The pattern is from, her name is Agnes over at AC Crochets. I will of course link the video for this cardigan below. I used Big Twist Twinkle yarn. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I would say, and per her instructions, her pattern is based on measurements, but based on the measurements for the sizing she gave, the size I made is a medium large. And to be safe, I'll say I used 6 balls because after the 4th ball, the next ball I used, it was not a full ball. I used that one up, and then I actually had just found some a little scrap yarn of this yarn, and so I just used that to finish up whatever I had left. So if you want to make the same size, I guess I would say to be safe, get 6 balls, but you may really only need that 5th one because I'm not quite 100% sure, because the 5th ball, like I said, wasn't a full skein to begin with. So yeah, I'm wearing it. It is so nice. It is so comfy and cozy. It was 85 degrees here in Atlanta today. Too hot for a sweater like this, but inside it's been nice and cold, and I've been wearing it all day. And it's just been so nice. It's been so nice wearing it. I did follow her pattern. The only change I made was how I did my sleeves. I did my sleeves, after I had added the front panels to the back panel, seamed up the sides, I did my sleeves, I guess, in the round, going just around and around, which is just a slight difference from how she did her sleeves in the tutorial. Yes, I love it. I love it. This is my first wearable other than a shawl that I've ever made. I've always been really intimidated by making clothing items, and especially with this one being based on your measurements and not just by chain this much or chain that much, but by your actual measurements. I'm just really proud of myself that I did this and I made this, and oh yeah, I think I'm just gonna be wearing it all the time, all the time. Once it does get a little cooler, I'll wear it out. I'll wear it like I said before. It's gonna be like a cardigan that I just grab to go throw on to walk my dog outside. And you know, just kind of be around the house because it's really warm and cozy. So yes, I'm really excited about that. So nice. Let me show you. Let me stand up so I can show you guys how it looks. So it's definitely oversized. I have plenty of room. If I'm not kind of like holding it, it definitely falls off my shoulder, but I don't mind because I'm always just kind of like this with it on. So I have plenty of room, but it's definitely still oversized. And you can kind of see the back. You see how it's just really flowy back there. Again, it just kind of falls off my shoulders if I don't kind of hold it up. But yeah, it's really nice. I've even been kind of like sticking my thumbs through when I need my sleeves to stay in place, but I have really been enjoying having this sweater. Oh, I finished it last night, or I guess more like yesterday morning even. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So that is my finished project for the week. I did, of course, I started something new as well before I even finished this. I think I have like something where when I get really close to finishing a project, I get like unmotivated in a way, like I don't want to work on it. So I ended up Not even sure if I was gonna finish it over the weekend, and I started something else, of course. So I started making a shawl, a new shawl, and here's my trusty dusty notebook. This is the asymmetrical spectrum shawl. This pattern is by Crystal over on Bag O' Day. Of course, y'all know I love her shawl patterns. I am using a Karen, hold on, I have the ball band, a Karen Blossom Cake, and the color I'm using is Blossoms. And I'm using a 6mm hook. And so far, I'm really loving this. So a little backstory on this yarn. When this yarn came out, you know, it came out last year at the same time as the cinnamon swirl cakes. I bought a few of these, not a lot. I bought, I think, just 2 colors. And I have tried to make projects with this yarn, and I didn't like any of them. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm using, my hook size is too small. My hook size is too big. Like, I didn't like how anything I was making was turning out. So I just kept frogging. I didn't putting it aside. I was honestly pretty sure I just didn't like the yarn. So for this project, I don't know, something told me, I kind of just saw it sitting there. I said, I'm gonna try using that yarn again. Let's try it. And when I started, it kind of was giving me the same, like, oh boy, I'm not liking how this is going, but I, in this case, trusted the process, and it has turned out really nice. So this is, I believe, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, 61% cotton, 39% acrylic. And you can tell, I don't mean that in a bad way, it still is really soft, but it's not like the softest thing you've ever felt because of that that little bit of, I think, cotton in there. And it's like it's a different texture, but it's very nice. It's definitely, it's not like itchy or anything like that. Like I said, this is an asymmetrical shawl, so it grows. Now, I've also never have made an asymmetrical shawl before. So my question is, how do I wear this asymmetrical shawl? Because last night, or was it Saturday night, I finished the first cake, and I went to put it on, and I said, okay, like I was kind of like fussing with it. I was like, okay, how do I wear this? How do I, like, is it something like, okay, obviously this side is the wider side. Does this kind of like drape a little in the front, a little in the back, and then this goes like this? Do you kind of just let it hang? And it, you know, that's just the style, or because of the type of shawl that, you know, you just kind of, one side has, you know, the thinner side, and the other side has the wider side. So because of that, I'm not quite sure when to stop. It's definitely my arm span at this point, or my arm span at this point. So I still have it connected to the ball of yarn because I'm not quite sure when to stop. But yeah, it's my arm span both ways. I did my arm span like this way, and then even from like the wider part, I did my arm span, right? So I'm not sure if I keep like going to add more length to help this part to when I want to wrap it around myself, make that a bit longer, or I don't know. Part of me also just wants to finish the ball that I have. I'll show you how much of the ball I have left. The ball band's off, so I'm keeping it in my yarn bowl. So this is how much of the second cake I've used. So still over half of that left. Do I just keep going? I mean, I love a big shawl, so that wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so that's an interesting question, but leave down below, you know, is that just a style? With the style of asymmetrical shawls, I literally laughed out loud at myself when I went to put it on, and I was like, do I not know how to wear this? Or maybe, you know what I didn't try? Kind of like, I guess you could. You wrap it around. Oh, now that, I didn't think about this yesterday. Kind of doing like in the front, and you could kind of have it go like this. Ooh, now that. Okay, I didn't think about that. And maybe, okay, I'm getting an idea. I'm gonna keep going. Maybe until I just get tired of it. Until I feel like I don't want to go anymore. Because definitely, it's big enough. It is big enough. So I'm not worried about that. So maybe I'll just keep going until I get sick of it. And yeah, maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Any comments, suggestions for styling asymmetrical shawls? Feel free to leave it down below in the comments, okay? But I'm loving it. It is so soft. It is so nice. And oh, beautiful. I mean, it's just been, I was pleasantly surprised, but I'm glad that I'm getting to use this yarn. And it really is a testament of, just because a new yarn comes out and everyone goes and buys it and people are raving and loving about it, and you go buy it and you don't like it, sometimes just sit on it. And you may never come back around to it and like it, but maybe you will. It's just, you know, it may take some time. That's the great thing about yarn. It doesn't really go bad, you know. You can take your time and really figure out how and, you know, how you want to use it. The next, I guess, kind of sort of work in progress, something I started before but put aside, is, speaking of the cinnamon swirl cakes, when these first came out, I had just made my first ever corner to corner blanket using the Karen anniversary cakes in the chunky yarn. And I made a corner to corner blanket that I absolutely loved. And I was like, when I saw this, I was like, I want to make another corner to corner blanket. And this is the cinnamon swirl cake in the color Sun and Surf. I started the corner to corner blanket almost right away when I got the yarn. This is 1 ball worth of the blanket. And then I was working on it and I decided I didn't like it. Well, I was going through some bag in some closet with, you know, my yarn, and I came across this, I guess we could call it a swatch. And I said I like it again. And I think I'm gonna keep working on it. I have 8 balls of this, and I said, well, I probably won't use all 8 balls for this blanket, but I'll probably use 4 and part of a 5th, because I think this would look really good with like a type of tassel, either on the corners or maybe along the sides. So that's where the 5th ball would come in. But I think I'm just gonna do 2 balls with it growing. When I get done with the second, start closing it off. So however big it is how big it's gonna be. But I mean, based on this, it's gonna be pretty big. So I think this is gonna be a fall project I work on. And yeah, it feels really nice. I think it's also gonna have some good weight to it. But that's another thing. Sometimes it's okay to put stuff down. If you don't like it, come back to it. I don't know when I started this. Also, when I came across this and I decided, okay, I want to keep working on it, the next thing that came to mind was, okay, I don't remember anything about, first of all, how to do corner to corner. I don't remember what hook size I used. So, have my trusty dusty crochet notebook. I wrote down, let me see if I can find the page really quick. I mean, it just shows that even if you just start something and you end up putting it down right away, write down your like basic notes about whatever it is you were working on or you were making, because it will come in handy. But let's see if I can find it. Okay, this was quite a while ago. I'm going pretty far back at this point trying to find it. But here it is. So literally all I wrote was C to C, Sun and Surf, so the color of yarn, Karen cinnamon swirl cake, 6mm hook. That is all I wrote. And these little notes is all I need to be able to pick this up. And obviously if you had like a different pattern, you just put the pattern, if you got it from a channel, or if it's, whoever the pattern is from, your hook size and your yarn, that will allow you to pick back up probably just about any project that, you stopped working on. So yeah, I'm gonna be working on this. My other goal, like for fall, my other goal is to finish that granny square heartstrings blanket that I also mentioned in my video last week. I really want to finish that by the end of October. I haven't worked on it in a few weeks. I want to pick it back up again and get that done. How awesome would that be if I could finish 2 blankets in October? For the rest of this week, since we're at the end of September, I'm just going to focus on finishing the shawl and working on this and see how far I can get. And then once October comes, I'll do a little bit more planning to, when am I gonna work on this? When am I gonna work on the other blanket? The other blanket I can work on a bit easier because I can just sit down, on a break and say, hey, I'll make 5 centers real quick, weave in the ends. I can pick up, just some squares, 5, 6 squares, weave in those ends on those squares. I am on that project weaving in the ends as I go because it is granny squares, and we know, as fun as they are, ends, 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 and I definitely am weaving them in as I go. So I probably won't have an update on that blanket next week, but I probably will have an update on this. Even looking at this all day today, I've been like waiting to the end of the day, so I'm like, I kind of want to work on this. But I kind of want to work on my shawl because on Wednesday I'm going to like a paint and sip, and I'd love to wear that shawl. I think it reminds me of like watercolors a little bit, like purple, pink watercolors. I think that'd be so fun to wear to the paint and sip. So maybe I should probably work on it tonight because of that. But also, again, it's big. It's like big enough, but also I could make it bigger for styling purposes. Maybe I should give it the night to think on it because I wouldn't have too much more to go, and it has worked up really quickly. But yeah, that's all my updates for this week. Thank you all for coming back and watching me again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody, come here and join us so they can join in on the fun too. Well, I hope you all have a good rest of your night. See you next week. Bye.